Hello again, Year 9, and in today's lesson we are going to be looking at how we divide a decimal by a single digit number. However, before we get started, a little activity to wake up those brains today. Obviously, in the English currency system, we have lots of different coins. We have 1p coin, a 2p, a 5p, a 10p, a 20p, a 50p, a £1, and fairly more recently, a £2 coin. And what I would like you to work out is for each of these totals, 83p, £1.34 and £5.27, how can you do that using the fewest coins? We're not allowed £5 notes for the £5.27, so what is the fewest number of coins needed? I would pause the video here because I'm about to go through the answers. So if I was doing this problem, I would always start with the biggest coins that I could use. So for 83p, I obviously can't use a pound, but I would need a 50p, a 20p, that's got me up to 70, a 10p, a 2p, and a 1p. That is 83p, and that is 5 coins. Similarly, for £1.34, I'd start with a pound, and to make the 34p, I would use a 20p, a 10p, and then two 2p coins. So again, the answer to that one is 5 coins. For the £5.27, I would use a £2 coin, another £2 coin, that's £4, a pound coin, that's £5, a 20p, £5.20, and then a 5p and a 2p. So the answer to that one is 6 coins. So I hope you've been able to print out a sheet for today's lesson, but if you've not been able to, do not worry about that. Do remember to write down the title, which is Written Method 7, a date, and our objective for today, which is divide decimals by a single digit. Now, the great thing about dividing decimals by a single digit is the method is going to be no different from what we have already done. So let's take a look at a series of examples and see how we set these ones up today. So my first question is 62.8 divided by 4. So I'm going to write 62.8. I'm going to use a square to put my decimal point in. Remember, don't make it too large. Divided by 4. Now what we need to remember is we need to put a decimal point in our answer line, and it needs to line up with the decimal point below. After that, everything is exactly the same as last lesson. We would start by saying how many times does 4 go into 6? Well, 4 goes into 6 once with 2 left over. How many times does 4 go into 22? It goes 5 times with 2 left over. We need to carry the 2 all the way past the decimal point and onto the 8 to make 28. And how many times does 4 go into 28? And 4 times 7 is 28. So the answer to the first one is 15.7. So it's just a matter of remembering to put the decimal point in and remembering to line it up on your answer line. So the next question is 9.315. Remember to use a square for each digit again, and we are dividing by 5. Again, I'm going to put my decimal point above in my answer line. So, how many 5s go into 9? Well, that is 1 with 4 left over. So I'm going to carry the 4 onto the 3, 43. How many 5s go into 43? That is 8 with 3 left over. How many 5s in 31? That is 6, remainder 1. How many 5s are in 15? 5, 10, 15, that is 3. So the answer to this question is 1.863. So let's take a look at 4 additional examples, starting with 38.1 divided by 3. So, setting this out, 38.1 divided by 3. Remember to line up your decimal point. So, how many 3's go into 3? Well, 3 goes into 3 exactly 1 time, with nothing left over, no remainders and nothing to carry on. 3 goes into 8 twice, with 2 left over. And 3 goes into 21 7 times. So the answer to this one is 12.7. My next one is 85.62 divided by 6. Again, don't forget to line up your decimal point on your answer line. So how many times does 6 go into 8? Well, that goes in once with 2 left over. How many times does 6 go into 25? Well, 6 times 4 is 24, so there must be 1 left over. How many times does 6 go into 16? Well, 6 times 2 is 12, so that is 4 left over. And 6's into 42 is 7 times. So the answer to this one is 14.27. For my next question, we have 6.488, and we are dividing by 8. How many times does 8 go into 6? Well, it doesn't. It's a bigger number here, so that is 0. Carry all 6. How many 8s are in 64? Well, that is 8, but it is 8 exactly. So nothing extra to carry on, which makes the end quite easy. 8's in 8 is 1 with nothing to carry, and 8's in 8 is 1. So the answer to 6.488 divided by 8 is 0.811. For the final example, I thought I'd try something a little bit harder. Okay, let's see what happens with 5.32 divided by 5. So 5.32 divided by 5. Line up your decimal point. How many 5s are in 5? Well, that is 1 with nothing left over. How many 5s are in 3? Well, that's none. So I need to carry the 3 that I've not used. How many 5s are in 32? Well, that is 6. But there's 2 left over. What I don't do is write 1.06 remainder 2. I can carry those 2 into this next column. In that next column, there was nothing. So I now have, with this extra 2, the number 20? And how many 5s are in 20? That is 4. In a couple of the questions that you do today, towards the end of the exercise, where you need to put in an extra 0 and carry that last bit of remainder onto an extra column. So the answer to this one is 1.064. So these are the questions that I'd like you to do. You could pause the video here, or you can follow the link and get this slide up from my PowerPoint. Use the time remaining to do as many questions as you can and set them out in your book exactly like we've done in the examples. Remember to use the last 5 minutes to check your answers. And if you have any problems whatsoever, do not hesitate to get in touch via the Ask the Teacher channel.